Welcome back to Reddit Reads. Today, we're looking at r/PettyRevenge, where OP makes her mother-in-law eat dog food. Before we begin, make sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on my next upload. This is a post by Lily Go PP. This preteen imbecile, without asking, would snatch my brother's backpack from the seat behind us and root through it for food. He would then proceed to loudly complain to anyone listening if there was nothing edible or if he didn't like what he had stolen. We repeatedly told him to stop, but this continued to occur over a span of several months. So, as any kid would do in this situation, we decided to fill a bag of very enticing looking corn nuts with dog kibble and wasabi balls. For those of you who don't know, wasabi balls are the same size and weight of corn nuts, and you can't taste the spice until they've been in your mouth for about 3 seconds. The kibble was also the same size/weight as the corn nuts. As per our previous observations, we learned that the kid would tear these bags open and pour about a quarter of the bag's contents into his mouth at once, so we planned accordingly. We made a small incision at the very bottom of the bag, took out about half of the corn nuts, and replaced them with the wasabi balls and kibble. We then used invisible tape over the incision to make sure the thief wouldn't suspect anything and shook the bag to mix the contents. In my opinion, it was great handiwork for two 12-year-olds barely passing math. The next morning, we were more than ready to enact our revenge. Our plan worked seamlessly. When the kid took the backpack and stole the bag of corn nuts, we discreetly watched from the other side of the seat. He didn't think to look around while tearing open his prize. As hypothesized, he poured about a quarter of the corn nuts into his mouth. He chewed for about 5 seconds before he spewed the kibble, wasabi ball, and corn nut mixture all over the floor of the bus. He didn't even look at us, which was probably a good thing, seeing as we were trying hardest not to burst out laughing. Needless to say, he didn't steal my brother's snacks after that incident, and he got in trouble for making a mess of the bus. That's a good case of this bully getting exactly what he deserved. If you go messing around with someone else's snacks, you better expect a clap back. This is a post by Max Moss. If you like legal revenge, you'll love this. I work for a large-scale tourism business consisting of a museum, various gift shops, online stores, and handcrafted artisanal goods. We pride ourselves in being 100% family-owned. Although I'm personally not related to the owners of the business at all, but my family is very connected, and my whole family has worked here for a number of years. The museum was originally run as one unit by the whole family, but there was a feud and they split, leaving the museum to one half of the family and the merchandising company to the other half. I won't give any more details for privacy and legality reasons. I'll just call the merchandising company Company B for brevity. After the feud, the two businesses operated under one roof, with Company B paying rent to the museum to stay in the facility. But in 2018, they made plans to move out. They decided that they were going to build a brand new facility next to the museum, and as a result, needed to bulldoze a couple of historical houses that the museum owned. We let them tear the houses down as long as we could take the artifacts stored in the basements, because they were rightfully ours anyway. This is where it gets interesting. At this point, Company B wasn't being owned or operated by a family at all. They had previously fired every single member of the family shortly after the feud, and the company is now being run by a man who married into the family and then divorced out of it. He's serious bad news. We caught him in the museum after hours in the women's restroom cheating on his wife with the cashier. He also does some shady business practices. Doesn't pay employees enough, doesn't follow safety regulations, the works. All around bad dude. We'll call him BD. Anyway, the historical houses had to be torn down. It was sad as they were some of the oldest houses in the area, but we were able to take the molding out and recover some really nice fixtures before construction started. The houses went down and construction on the new building started. Honestly, it's not that bad looking of a building. My boss always joked about how it would make a nice restaurant if it ever went under. So BD is getting things ready to be moved out of the museum, which means the entire first floor needs to be moved out. It takes them about a week, and due to some heavy equipment being moved, we couldn't operate during that time for safety reasons. No big deal. Then we returned to work. Everything was gutted. I mean, everything. They stripped the floor down to the cement. They took the lighting fixtures off the walls. They tore out outlets and light switches. Literally everything was gone. My boss was reasonably mad, but she decided we would remodel anyway after that. A couple months go by and we realized Company B is doing oddly well. We had a coworker investigate to figure out what was going on. They stole every artifact we kept in the basements of those houses. Antique furniture, commando knives from World War II, an antique bicycle, historical documents, Native American carvings, and arrowheads, essentially advertising themselves as the new museum, stealing our customers, and displaying our artifacts that they stole as their own. Very colonial of them. Obviously, my boss sued the crap out of them. I don't know the specific amount because it was never really talked about outside of rumors, but apparently it was in the tens of millions. We won the lawsuit, obviously. Theft is pretty frowned upon in court. This was during the final stages of construction, so Company B couldn't pay the construction company on time, and they got smacked with all kinds of fees. They took out a loan of a couple $1,000,000 to be able to pay their employees about a year ago, which they haven't even begun to pay off. They still don't have a parking lot either because the construction company refused to build one for them when they were late on their payments. The last remaining family member affiliated with Company B sold his shares to outsiders, and because they aren't run by anyone in the family, we can copyright the family name and make them change their branding. Looks like in a couple of years, we'll have a nice restaurant. OP added a comment below. I forgot to add, we didn't need to sue them at all. My boss just hates Company B with a passion. Our museum is more than full, even without the stolen artifacts. Holy, this isn't petty, this is pro. They cost them millions of dollars and basically made them shut down. This is a post by Jay Dusken. My wife has a habit of leaving me stranded on the toilet without toilet paper after she used up the last of the roll. This leaves me finding out just a bit late and duck walking to the closet to grab another roll. After complaining a few times and her responding with, "I should pay more attention," I decided to have a little bit of revenge every time this happens. Ever since I decided on this, which has been half a dozen times or so, every time I get stranded, I commit the cardinal sin of TP installation. That's right, boys and girls. I put the roll on backwards. For those of you wondering, that would be with the roll unrolling back away from you and forcing you to pull from the back. Every time this happens, I notice it turned around the next time I use the facilities. I get a nice giggle every time. Nothing outrageous, but after 25 years of wedded bliss, it is the little things that make it great. Now that is some good old-fashioned petty revenge. No real harm done to the person, just some serious annoyance. At least your wife isn't one of those psychos that prefers to have it the wrong way. This is a post by Restless Beatface. Buckle up, kiddos. This is a long and exciting ride. The year was 2006. I was a young, dumb girl that had gone and gotten myself married to someone completely wrong for me. He refused to work, and as a result of financial difficulties of us both being in school and only me working, we found us living with his mom. Let me tell you, this is every newlywed's dream. Over the course of us living with her, anytime I would buy myself a food treat, mother-in-law would eat it. Didn't matter what it was or where I hid it, she was a bloodhound for sniffing out things that I bought just for me. The final straw was, one night we had gone out to dinner at the Cheesecake Factory. I had taken my slice to go and put it in the fridge. I was going to have it after work the next day. Next day at work is absolute crap, and the only thing getting me through my shift is the slice of cheesecake I know is in my fridge. I go home and pop the lid off the container, and it doesn't look right. There are mother effing fork marks all around the outside perimeter of my cheesecake. Like she could just sneak some off all around and I wouldn't notice. I was pissed. I went and handed it to her and told her she may as well eat the rest of it. Fast forward a few days, and I'm at the pet store picking up some dog food. I'm standing in line waiting to check out, and they have these little boxes of dog treats that look like the little red boxes of animal crackers you can buy for little kids. Now, it very clearly says on the front, circus animals for dogs. Now, about this time, I've got the little devil sitting on my shoulder whispering in my ear, "Do it. Do it." And then the angel pops onto my other shoulder and screams, "Effing do it." So, they magically end up with the stuff I am buying. I drive home and leave everything in a bag all together on the kitchen counter. Several hours later, she comes into our room and I says, "I think there was something wrong with those animal crackers. They were the most awful ones I've ever eaten. I had to eat a whole thing of frosting with them just to finish them." All I said was, "Huh," and shrugged my shoulders. What is wrong with this lady? She eats one of the animal crackers, goes, "This doesn't taste right. Oh well, I guess I'll eat the rest of them." Now that is some serious commitment. That was r/PettyRevenge. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for some more Reddit content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.